This is Jeff testing out the e-bike. Oh, you're doing video. I never turn them on. With no assist, it's already like, it's pretty good. Pretty good, huh? Yeah, with no assist. But then when you turn on the assist, it's like you're cheating or something. Yeah. It's pretty mean. It's a good boost. I was going like 22 on level 3. I'm not even trying. Yeah, yeah. What the hell? Exactly. Good fun, huh? It was pretty good fun. Yeah. And that's with no shoes. I know. If Jeff had shoes, oh, it would be so fast. All right. Okay, so the goal is to make this stem longer and incorporate the shock stop stem just like the seat post. So this will be a super cushy e-bike. But first, I have to measure the distance from my saddle tip to the end of the stem, and then I can see if this shock stop suspension stem will fit. And because it's only a flat bar, I have to adjust the elastomers that come in the stem. This is a 110 millimeter stem. That one on it, I think, is like a 60. So that's the plan. So from the tip of the stem to here is about 21 inches to the tip of the saddle. So let's see for this one. From the tip of the saddle to out to here is 21. So it will fit. So another thing I forgot to mention was, because this stem is a 31.8 diameter, I got this shim right here for a 25.4 millimeter inner diameter to 31.8 millimeter outer diameter. So this will
these two pieces will fill the gap for that skinnier bar, that one over there, to fit inside this outer diameter. That's the plan. I got these off Amazon for like, I don't know, $10 or something, but it's from a company called RedShiftSports.com, who also makes the suspension seat post. So once the stem cap is off and the top cap is off, right there, just re-grease the stem bolt and then take off the stem. Loosen these first and then pull off the stem, and then replace the stem and with the new stem, and because it's a straight bar, flat bar, I only need the 70, the blue elastomer, for my rider weight according to the chart. This is the blue elastomer, and this is the chart. So hopefully that works out for you too, with a flat bar setup. Okay, so putting the shim in is a little bit difficult. First thing I did was put on the head badge first, the head of the stem, just lightly. Screw these in by hand lightly, and then slip in the shim, the front and back piece, and slightly snug these parts by hand, and then make the shim perfectly centered, which is the most difficult part. And then after that, snug these parts a little bit more by hand. You can use a tool too, like an Allen wrench, and make sure the gap of the shims are the same on top and bottom. You can use your fingernail or a penny to make sure that the gap is the same, as well as the same distance on left to right, because that's the obvious part that looks incorrect. And then make sure you're doing it under a light, because you can see the lines on the handlebar, if you do it under a light, and you can see that the lines line up perfectly, ending with the stem bolts. Then you're gonna be in the right area. Because the bar already has a rise to it, I chose to make the stem as flat as possible instead of have a rise on the stem too, just for aesthetics. Now I'm going to use the torque wrench and make sure all these bolts are 5 Newton meters, and snug these two. I put a little grease, very light grease, on the stem cap bolt just so it won't over tighten and alter the star nut in the stem. And then tighten these 5 Newton meters and everything should be okay. Okay, once the bolts have all been tightened to 5 Newton meters, you can test the suspension, and it should have some give. And just drop test the front, and by hand try to move the stem spacers. It should only move under a lot of torque. If it's too snug or too tight, then you can prematurely damage the bearings. But that's snug enough, and press the brakes and lean forward and back, and there should be no play. Then you're done.